Good morning everyone. I Dr. Ankita Saha going to discuss today about intercostal spaces. These are the spaces lying between two adjacent ribs. There are total 12 ribs and in between them there are 11 intercostal spaces, among which 3rd to 6th intercostal spaces are known as typical intercostal spaces. Each intercostal space consists of intercostal nerve, intercostal artery, intercostal vein and intercostal muscle. If we see the boundary of intercostal spaces, I am reflecting the thoracic wall and we can see the inside view. This is the sternum bone. These are the ribs. So let us see the boundary of the intercostal space. So this is the intercostal space in between two adjacent ribs. This intercostal space is bounded above by the lower border of upper rib, bounded below by the upper border of lower rib. In front we have the sternum and behind there is the thoracic vertebra. Now this intercostal space is containing intercostal muscles. These muscles are important in performing various movements during respiration. The intercostal muscle consists of, I am reflecting the skin, then pectoral group of muscles, and then we can see this is the rib. In between them, this is the intercostal space. This external muscle is the intercostalis externus muscle. This intercostalis externus muscle, as it is approaching towards the sternum, it is being replaced by a aponeurosis. This part is known as the anterior intercostal membrane. If we see the direction of the fibers, it is like I am putting my hands into my pocket. That means the fibers are going downward and medially and forward. So how are the fibers going? Downward, forward, medially. This direction of the fibers is along the long axis of the ribs. Therefore, it helps in elevation of the ribs that is required during inspiration of the part of the respiration. Now coming to the next muscle. This muscle is the intercostalis internus muscle. The direction of these fibers is opposite to the externus muscle. Its fibers go like as if we are crossing our hand to the opposite side chest. This is the direction of the fibers. Now, this internus muscle is fleshy anteriorly, but beyond the posterior angle of the ribs, it becomes aponeurotic, forming the posterior intercostal membrane. It has got two parts. One is the interosseous part in between the ribs. Another one is the interchondral part in between the two chondral cartilage. This interchondral part helps in the elevation of the ribs because its fibers are almost parallel with the slope of the ribs. But the interosseous part, it helps in depression of the ribs because its fibers run at right angle to the slope of the ribs. Now coming to the innermost muscle, this is the intercostalis intimus muscle. How does the muscle appear? Can we see here a thin like sheet? This is the intercostalis intimus muscle. We can also see here as I have reflected it. This is the intercostalis intimus muscle. This intercostalis intimus muscle, the fibers run in the same direction as the intercostalis internus muscle and it causes depression of the ribs during expiration. So, if I summarize, during inspiration, two muscles are coming. One is the intercostalis externus muscle, another one is the interchondral part of intercostalis internus muscle. Intercostal is internal and intercostal is intimus muscle. These two muscles help during expiration and are known as accessory muscles of expiration. So, this was regarding the basic idea of intercostalis muscle. Now coming to the neurovascular bundle. The neurovascular bundle, if you see here, this is the upper rib and this is the lower rib. This external fibers, intercostalis externus. Then we have the intercostalis internus and this one is the intercostalis intimus muscle. In between intercostalis internus and intercostalis intimus muscle lies the neurovascular bundle. What is the arrangement in the neurovascular bundle? That is vein, artery and nerve. This is maintained throughout except in the first intercostal space where the arrangement is reversed. Reversed means the arrangement in first intercostal space is nerve, artery and vein. And rest in all other spaces the arrangement is vein, artery and nerve. Now, this neurovascular plane if we see, this is lying between the intimus and the internus muscle. So, we can see here intercostal nerve. What else we can see here? This is the internal thoracic artery and these are the internal intercostal arteries. So, we can see here intercostal nerve and these are the intercostal vessels. Now, how does it originate and how do they supply the intercostal space? As I have told you, the 3rd to 6th intercostal spaces are typical. That means their arterial supply, nerve supply and venous drainage is limited to the thorax only. Coming to the intercostal artery first, the intercostal arteries having two parts, anterior intercostal artery, posterior intercostal artery. The difference in them is that in each intercostal space there are two intercostal arteries but two anterior intercostal artery and one posterior intercostal artery. Anterior intercostal artery are present in upper 9 spaces only because as I have told you, in the front there are floating ribs. So, anteriorly, the wall is not complete. Therefore, as I can see that two anterior intercostal arteries are present, but they are not present in the lower part. Coming to the posterior intercostal arteries, one each is present in each 11 intercostal spaces. Coming to the anterior intercostal arteries, there are total 9 anterior intercostal arteries, among which the 1st to 6th intercostal arteries are derived from this internal thoracic artery. The 7th, 8th and 9th anterior intercostal arteries are derived from a branch of or division of this internal thoracic artery which is known as musculophrenic artery. How are the posterior intercostal arteries derived? The upper two intercostal arteries are derived from superior intercostal vessel which comes from costocervical trunk. Rest of the posterior intercostal arteries are direct branches of descending thoracic aorta. Coming to the intercostal veins, they correspond with the arteries. That means anteriorly, each space has two anterior intercostal veins in upper 9 spaces only, not in the lower space. Posteriorly, there are one posterior intercostal vein in all the 11 intercostal spaces. Now anteriorly, this 11 anterior intercostal veins, how do they drain? From 1st to 6th, they drain into the internal thoracic vein. 7th, 8th and 9th anterior intercostal vein, they drain into the musculophrenic vein. Coming to the posterior intercostal vein, their drainage differs on the right and the left side. If we see here, now look at this picture. This is the right side and this is the left side. On the right side, the first posterior intercostal vein, it is draining into the right brachiocephalic vein. On the left side, the first posterior intercostal vein is draining into the left brachiocephalic vein. The second, third and fourth on both sides are uniting. On the right side, it is forming the right superior intercostal vein, which is draining into the azygous vein, that is this one. On the left side, second, third and fourth are uniting to form left superior intercostal vein, which is draining into the left brachiocephalic vein. On the right side, 5 to 11, they are draining directly into the azygous vein. But on the left side, 5, 6, 7 is draining first into accessory hemiazygous vein, which is draining into azygous vein at the level of T7. Then 8, 9, 10, 11 on the left side is draining into hemiazygous vein, which is draining into azygous vein at the level of T8. What are these two? These are 12. One is the subcostal vein. So this was regarding the intercostal vessels. One applied importance of this intercostal vessels is that this intercostal vessels, especially the posterior intercostal arteries, get enlarged during coarctation of aorta, and this leads to notching of the ribs, which is radiologically visible. So let us see the intercostal vessels again. This is the internal thoracic artery. These are the intercostal vessels lying in the intercostal space in between two adjacent ribs. Coming to the intercostal nerve. So let us look at the nerve again. This is the intercostal nerve. The intercostal nerves are the ventral rami of T1 to T11 thoracic spinal nerves. T1 and T2 supply the upper limb. T3 to T6 are the typical intercostal nerve supplying the thorax only. And T7 to T11, they supply the wall of the abdomen. Which part of the wall? That is the anterolateral part of the wall of abdomen. Among these, the T1, it along with the C8 branch, it contributes in the formation of brachial plexus. One important among all these intercostal nerve is the lateral cutaneous branch of T2. This lateral cutaneous branch of T2 is known as intercostobrachial nerve. It supplies the medial side of the hand as well as the floor of the axilla. The importance of this branch is that during coronary artery disease, the cardiac pain is radiated along this nerve to the medial side of the hand. So, this is all about the content and the anatomy of the intercostal spaces. Thank you.